everyone, this is Tina with Tiaz's Treasures. Today I have for you some quick cards. Well, I hope they're quick. Using Spellbinders October 2022 kit. Oh, what fun. I bought this kit. I'm just now getting around to opening it. And it's like November 6th. So anyway, before this kit came in, I had some extra Spellbinders points. And I got a sticker pack and die cut sentiments. Neither of these are included in the kit, but they go with the kit. So I went ahead and I bought them. And let's see what else is in the kit. And I'll take a quick look here. Hopefully I've got all the, yes, I do have all the packing tape off. Come on, you. It's fighting with me. Come on. I would like to, well, I was going to try to lift it out. I still can. Yay. As things fall out of the sides. Okay. The things that fell out of the sides were, of course, our foam tape and our double-sided tape. And our die-cut shapes. I'm not going to go through these yet. This is just a quick unboxing for those of us who do not remember everything in the kit. Of course, we have our 10 card bases in 10 envelopes, A2 size. Ooh, frames. These look fun. Sequins, let's see. Or not, oh, these are the sequins. Duh. They are like a creamy iridescent color. What I want to see is what these dies are real quick. Okay, we get foam stickers. These are the hard ones. So I wouldn't really call them foam. They're just like a hard plastic almost. That's fun. Okay, what is our dies? A little Christmas tree and a little Santa. And why don't I remember? And Noel. Well, I guess I really didn't pay much attention to what was in this kit. Okay. And we've got some chipboard stickers, double-sided. And some stamps. Gingerbread men. Those are so cute. 3 little gingerbread man. May your holidays be sprinkled with cheer. You are magical. Hope your Christmas is too. Merry everything and happy always. Oh, that's so sweet. Christmas and gingerbread wishes and kisses. Just be jolly. Let's get excited. It's Christmas. Hope your holidays are sweet and Christmas starts with a smile. Okay. I'm not going to open this up either, but we have some really fun patterns there. Oh, that's cute little peppermint candies. And let's see what color cardstock we have. I know, I probably should go through everything, but there's so many unboxings out there. I just want to do a quick, this is a quick refresher for everyone. We have light blue, dark blue, green, a bright cherry red. That's pretty bright. We have a light pink, a dark pink, black, and a white, and a gold double-sided foil-ish cardstock. Reminds me of foil when you cut it, but if you tear it, it's definitely got a paper core. So let's make some cards. So for this first card, I've got a couple different pattern papers here, along with some of my own cardstock that's 130 pound. I wasn't sure if I was going to gift these or what I'm doing with them yet, so I brought in a little bit heavier cardstock just in case. So this first paper, as you can see, my tape runner is giving me fits. Anyway, this first paper is, it's like a reddish with some very, very pale snowflakes in the background. They're really hard to see. You have to look for them. But I figured it would be the perfect background for this candy cane pattern paper that I'm using, and I am just centering that on there. And I believe it's like 3 3/4 by 5, I want to say. And so I've got these 3 stockings from the ephemera, which are really cute. And I wanted to use those, and I thought with the fireplace, it would kind of be perfect to put the stockings on top and the little fireplace down at the bottom. Now, I don't pop anything up on this card. I leave it fairly flat. I leave it completely flat, actually. And I'm going to glue down our little fireplace in the middle, and I'm going to put the sentiment warm wishes right in the center between the stockings and the fireplace. And I just thought it kind of made a cute card. I was looking at the chipboard to see if there was a different sentiment I wanted to use, but no, I kept with the warm wishes. Now you could actually use any number of sentiments. You could have stamped out a greeting. I'm using all the sentiments I use just about come from the add-on ephemera pack. So if you were going to make these cards, I would just use the stamp set that came with the kit and stamp out some fun little greetings and maybe the different colored cardstock. And I thought about putting some of these sequins here, but in the end I didn't like them, and so I didn't use them. Instead, I brought in the Spectrum Noir glitter pen, and I just shined up my sentiment and the socks. So it's taken me a few days to get around to doing this voiceover, but I'm finally doing it. I wanted to get it done much earlier today, but I either had a dog on my lap or the dogs were barking. The neighbors were building something outside, and so every time the hammer came down, the dogs would run up and bark. I have dogs with no manners whatsoever. So anyhow, for this second card here, I've got this gold plaid background that is really just lovely, and I'm putting a bunch of the ephemera all around this card. I thought I would use the little Christmas tree, and I'd take some of the little presents and try to center them around the tree, and so our little tree is sitting right among the Christmas presents. And I'm going to glue that down, and I'm trying to figure out the placement for everything. I had a rough idea where everything was going, and as I sit here and I figure out these cards, a lot of times I just try to see what colors work best with different pattern papers and just what comes to mind. Sometimes I'll use different card, the different cards. I can't think of the name of them right now. My mind is going, I swear to God. But I'll use card sketches. That's the word I'm looking for. So anyway, sometimes I'll use different card sketches, but more often than not, it's just whatever my brain sees and and decides this would make a good card. No rhyme, no reason about it. But sometimes the cards turn out real cute, and other times they're like, that's the best you could do. But this card I thought was rather cute. Honestly, all these cards turn out pretty good. I don't have any complaints. So I've got the little sentiment that says peace, love, and cheer at the bottom. And the tag at the upper right says, have a wonderful and truly amazing Christmas. And then I've got the little December 25th off to the side. And I'm just sparkling up my tree, and I'm going to add just 3 of the sequins. I don't want to overdo it. This card's a little busy anyway, but I think it all ties in together. The colors on this kit, honestly, with the colors in this kit, you could pretty much throw anything together and it's going to look good. And so that's card number 2. Now for card number 3 here, I've got my little Santa. I've got a Santa head, and he's inside a frame because I didn't want Santa's head just floating in the middle of nowhere. So I've got this green pattern paper with snowflakes, and then I've got red pattern paper with little sprinkles. And because I didn't want Santa's head just floating out there, looking like, oh, I don't know what he looks like. He looks pretty funny, just a big floaty head, kind of like Mac's headroom. So I didn't want him to look like that. So I put the frame around him, and I pulled in a little snowman head and a little polar bear head, and I thought I would glue those down because those are like friends at the North Pole, and they're all just all like being heads hanging out together. And so I'm just figuring out where to place them with this frame. I want to make sure that the frame doesn't really cut off too much of their heads, because their heads are already cut off. So I'm just gluing them down flat. And I just keep bringing the frame up there to make sure that they're going to fit inside of it. And then this frame, believe it or not, unless I'm just like really losing it, was not adhesive backed. At least I couldn't get the backing off, so I just put the glue right on there and glued it down. I hope there's not a sticker back, otherwise you could peel the frame right off the card. And so I'm getting that centered around my Santa, my snowman, and my polar bear. And I've got the little sentiment that says Merry Christmas, and now I'm going to bring in some chipboard stickers, though I decide that this is kind of on the plain side and I don't want to use the sequins. So I am going to just use some of the chipboard, and I pull off the chipboard sticker that says Dear Santa, because we've got Santa there and it's kind of cute. So I'm going to stick that in the upper left hand corner at an angle. And for embellishment, I'm bringing in 3 of the peppermint candy chipboard stickers. Now one of them's pretty big, but I'm going to use it anyway. Rule of 3 there. Just figuring out where I can put these on my card. And while they're not like all sparkly or whatnot, they still add a lot to this card. And I'm not sure if you can have too busy of a card at Christmas time. The more ephemera, the merrier. And so that's it for card number 3. Now moving on to card number 4. I have got these really adorable, really adorable ornaments, and I took some silver thread that I had. Gold might have worked better, I don't know. I don't have any gold thread, I only had silver, so that's what I used. Tiny tags, tiny thread, and I glued down the pattern paper with all the different ornaments in it, and now I've got some just light pink cardstock that I cut down. I want to say probably 3.5 by 4 3/4, because I wanted to have a border. Man, why is it I start doing a voiceover and I get a frog in my throat? So I am just trying to figure out where my ornaments are going. Now here, I did this backwards. I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought I would put the double-sided tape on this first, when I should have just glued down the ornament first and then came back and taped down the thread. I was just not thinking. I would love to know how many of you start doing cards and are like, why am I doing this the way that I'm doing it when there's a much easier way? So I figured it out on ornament number 2 and 3, but for this first ornament, it just, like I said, what was I thinking? I had to pull the string a little bit to get it to come down a little more because the ornament was too close to the top, but I was still able to pull it down. And now I'm gluing it down, and I'm going to glue the next 2 ornaments down first, which makes putting that thread and taping it down so much easier. And I'm putting the double-sided tape. It's from an older Spellbinder kit. I have so much of this double-sided tape left. I don't use it that often, so I've got rolls upon rolls of it. And I'm just cutting a little bit of the thread off. I don't want it too long, but I left it long purposely until I had it, glued down, because I wasn't sure how far down the card I was going to have these ornaments coming. I knew it was going to be about halfway, give or take, because I've got the great big Merry Christmas sentiment in gold. And it's going to take up almost half of the card. You can see it off there to the right. It's just the perfect size for this card and these smaller ornaments. And I am going to take off the release paper off of all of this. You get to see me fiddle with it. And I'm going to paint my ornaments with the Spectrum Noir glitter pen. I'm going to throw some sentiments, some sequins on there as well. So we're going to get some sequins. And I hope everybody's November is going swimmingly. It's going to be Thanksgiving real soon. And it's just blowing my mind. I've decided that I am not cooking this year. I'm going to have my oldest daughter do it, which is going to be wonderful. I don't have to go in the kitchen. I don't have to wake up early. I don't have to mess with the bird. I said I would make a dish to pass, whatever she wants, but letting her do it this year, it's nice when I don't have to be in the kitchen all day. It's like you cook and you cook and you cook, and everybody comes in and eats, and they're done in 15 minutes, and then the cleanup takes like forever. I'll help with that though. It's like, thank God for dishwashers. And here you can see I'm putting down those sequins. And these iridescent sequins look different depending on what card they're on, because they're a real pretty iridescent color. And they almost look pink right there. I'm just going to glue down. I think I've got 6 of them on this card. So, yep. And they like to sometimes like pop out of place after I glue them, and then I got to kind of mess with trying to get them to get back down there. And eventually I get them to stay where I want them to. I prefer the flat like discs or the flat sequins, because I'm always afraid with these type of sequins they're going to pop off the card when you mail them. But I've never really called anybody up after I've sent them a card and been like, hey, are those sequins still on there? I'd be curious. So I'm just sparkling up those ornaments, and I love these glitter pens. They give such a subtle little sparkle, and you can really see it there in real life anytime you look at the card. So moving on to card number 5, we're on the halfway card. So I've got, when I was doing these cards, I had what I thought was about the perfect placement of my little scene there. So I went ahead and used some press and seal, and I went ahead and I cut out a couple snowbanks. They're real thick snowbanks. They're that 130-pound cardstock. I just happen to have it on my desk. So that's what we used. So that gave a little bit of dimension. And I just love this green, pink, and red plaid. So I decided I was going to use that in the background. Who said you had to have a perfect sky? And after I glued down my little snowbanks, I decided I need to cut down that snowbank a little bit. It's a little bit wider than I want. So you'll see me bring it back in skinnier. And there it is, skinnier. I'm gluing that down. And I do end up, I put the glue on my snowman and my Christmas tree and the little bird. And I leave the polar bear and the cat to glue on last. Now I've got the little gold snowflakes here that I also put glue on, and I should have probably moved over one of those snowflakes. It's a bit too far to the left, but by the time I glue it down and notice, it's a little too late. And you can see what I'm talking about right there, the littlest gold snowflake is too close to, or not close enough to the right side of the card, but it doesn't ruin the aesthetic of this card at all. It's still a cute card. So this is the first year too that I really don't have any Christmas shopping done. I like to start it way before Black Friday and have most of it done, or at least have an idea of what I'm buying. And this year I have no idea what to get anyone. I don't even want to start Christmas shopping simply because I'm stumped. And you know, you'll never get me to go out on Black Friday. You couldn't pay me enough to go out on Black Friday. Even if you told me, you go out on Black Friday, all your shopping will be paid for. Nope. Nope. I was a very early adopter of online shopping way back before anybody else was doing it. And I loved it. I've been online shopping since the 90s, and I would not go back. You know, I do my price comparisons. I will say it used to be a lot easier to find a lot of different shops to comparison shop from, but Amazon has ruined that a whole lot. There's really, it's like they've got a monopoly on so many items now, and even if you find something cheaper somewhere else, by the time you add in shipping, you're not saving anything. And so I am getting just, it's not as fun to shop anymore. Not because, number one, I don't know what to get anybody. Number two, I don't like going to the malls or, you know, going out to shop at the big box stores. And number three, online shopping just, it's not as much fun. So what are you going to do? Anyhow, here I am trying to figure out if I want to add some sequins to this card, and they just don't look good on it, so I don't put any on. Even after I kind of get them arranged, I'm like, no. I just, you know, pour them off in the end. I do sparkle up my Christmas tree, and that's about it. I can't believe how long it took me to decide that, no, I don't like the sequins. It's okay. It's only paper. Even if I put them on, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But I love that little bird on top of the snowman's head. I think that was my favorite part of the whole card. So we are moving on now to card number 6. Always surprises me once I start talking how quick this voiceover goes. So for this card, I've got the blue cardstock for my frame there. And as you can see, I love you all. And this is one of the few videos I've done where you really can't read my writing on the back of the card because I don't use any dark card bases or frames. And then I've got a pattern paper that's got little snowfall, and I'm going to make a little scene with little houses and little car with the Christmas tree on it, and I'm going to actually pop up some of these houses as well. You can see I do have a little arrangement with my sentiment that I'm using the press and seal on, but I figured the rest of the scene wouldn't be too hard to replicate, so I didn't need to use the press and seal on that. Sometimes when I do a scene, I just know if I don't use the press and seal, I'm going to forget where I want everything. And once you mess with trying to get your placement down, it's kind of nice to not to have to think about it again. So as you can see, I'm just trying to figure out my houses and my car, and I'm going to glue down flat the little trees in the background. Now they're all decorated, which is fine and dandy because, you know, people do decorate trees when they're in their front yards or their backyards when, you know, they're doing the rest of their Christmas decorating. But I can't say that I've ever seen anybody put a fully decorated Christmas tree on their car and bring it home. I just don't think that's a thing. So I am popping up the little pink house here, and I'm going to put the little brown house flat in the background, and I'm going to pop up our little I think it's like a teal color, and I pop up the car as well. So I'm curious, do you all decorate your house? My husband's been decorating our house, 30 years that we've been living here, and yeah, we've been married about 30 some odd years and living here 30 some odd years. But he gets up on the roof still and puts up the Christmas lights. And then he's got like candy canes that go all around the yard. And then he puts up, depending, I'm not even sure what we've got out there now. I think he has like an igloo and little penguins. And I know he's got like Rudolph and, the different characters from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Clarice and Yukon Jack and the Bumble. And we just, try to pick up stuff here and there, but other stuff retires out as it gets old too. I know in the past we've had deer in the front yard, lighted deer, and I always did like the igloo and the little penguins. I think those are cute. And he does the bushes, with lights, and we've got like these strings of different ornaments and things that do different colors, and I'm not even sure what we all have out there now. So I brought in my own little sequins. They're little Nuvo little star, iridescent stars. They look white in the bottle, but they look blue against this background, and they're real fun. You can see kind of the sparkle they add. I get tired of the iridescent Spellbinders sequins, and I wanted to bring in some of my own because I have so much that I just don't get around to using. So, you make the world a merrier place is the sentiment on that card. And moving on to our next card here. I went ahead with this card, and again, I used the press and seal. And it just, we have our little bitty gingerbread men on this one, and those gingerbread men are so cute. If they didn't have any of the gingerbread men ephemera, I would have used the stamp set that came in this kit and stamped out some gingerbread men. But I didn't need to. I didn't need to do any coloring. I just figured out where I wanted everything to go, and I'm like, well, this is when I had to bring in the press and seal, and I get everything down. Now I've got that little border strip that our little hot cocoa cup is sitting on because I didn't want it floating, so I wanted to be able to ground the coffee cup and the other gingerbread man. And I've got a couple different sentiments I use on this card. Feeling jolly along with Merry Christmas. And I just have everything glued down flat. And I'm going to sparkle up the coffee mug and the Merry Christmas sentiment and the little holly berries. And now I'm going to bring in some of those star snowflake sequins or confetti or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to put a few of those scattered on the card. I think just the 4 of them. It's plenty because this card is a little bit busy, and that's going to be it for this card. I've got all these cards I'm looking at as I'm doing this voiceover, and the last few cards are all out of order, so I'm not even sure what the next card's going to be until I pull it out. Pretty sure, though, I'm finally getting around to the die cuts. Now, I showed you the dies in the beginning of this this video, and I went ahead and I put them together. I've got the little Christmas tree with the gold, like garland I put on, and little gold ornaments, and a gold star. And I've got some pattern paper. It looks like either little ornaments or little light sets. And then I had this striped pattern paper that I'm gluing down now. Yeah, I should have put those sequins in a container. I just got them all over the place. But this striped pattern paper reminds me of like a candy cane. And then there was that border that matched so well that I decided to use at the top. Kind of almost like a roof line. Roof. I guess it depends where you're from. And I love the way that's looking on there. It just matches perfectly. And I've got this piece of red pattern paper. You saw it on the very first card. I had a little scrap left, and so I'm going to use that to ground the tree. Because again, I don't want my tree just floating in space. We want it to be on the floor or on the ground, or, you know, just not floating. And so I put that in the center. Well, I put it on the card. It's not in the center of the card. It's like near the bottom. And I'm gluing down my little die cut. And I'm going to bring in some die cut little snowflakes. And the season for celebration in gold. And I do bring in some flat gold Sizzix pieces, you'll see. Because again, I've got so much bling. Not as much as Amy R. if you watch here. Nobody will have as much bling as that girl. But I've got a lot that I need to try to go through. And so I do glue that down. Yeah, I watch a lot of videos. There's a few people that I have not been able to catch. One of my crafty friends from YouTube invited me to do I think a Zoom crafting session with her, and I feel awful I wasn't able to get back to her yet. And she sent it out with a Halloween card, which just, I'm a terrible, terrible person. I've been trying to catch her YouTube live, and she does it early in the morning, and I'm a night owl, and I keep missing her. I don't know what brought that up. Just, I think guilt's on my mind. So there's that Sizzix, the little Sizzix gold pieces I was telling you about. And I put 3 of them on the card, and they just give it a little extra oomph. Yes, oomph is a word. I don't know how you spell it. O-O-M-P-H, oomph. And yeah, that's it for that card. Now for our next card, I have got this little like journal card that came with all the ephemera, the sentiment ephemera, and I went ahead and I used a scallop die to trim it out, and then I took a piece of white paper, white cardstock, and I used a bigger scallop die for that, and I rounded off the edges of my pattern paper and the card base itself. I figured give it a kind of a fun, different look to this. It's a softer look, and I've got an inch strip of pattern paper. I just put right in the middle, just kind of for a little bit extra. And I am gluing down my white cardstock, and I thought I needed to move it over a little bit, but once it hit that paper, it was not moving at all. So I just was resigned that it might be a little off, but not much. The more I look at it, I think it's fine. And I was trying to find my foam. I have like some fun foam, and I couldn't find it, so I just used a bunch of pieces of foam and popped it up that way. And now I am going to bring in some sequins. I just use 3 sequins on this card, and I sparkle up my holly leaves and berries. And I'm always amazed that I got this far and I am still talking. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm so much, and I am trying to get a little better putting out videos in a timely manner. And if you would subscribe, I would love it. If you don't subscribe, though, that's okay too. I'm just happy you're here. And now we are going back to the floating Santa head. This one I do not have in a frame. It's just going to be kind of floating. I've got the Noel that I cut out twice, once with red cardstock and once with gold, and a label that I took from the sticker set that I bought as an add-on. It's the only thing from that entire sticker set that I end up using. And I've got this little pattern paper. It's got little candies. And I'm taking an inch stripe and I'm putting that down the center of the card. That way our Santa head is not floating in the center of the card. I mean, it's not as grounded as, say, it is in a frame, but it's still the striped pattern paper does ground it a bit. It leaves it with something to kind of center in on. It gives it some good visuals. And so I glue my little Santa head down, and he is so cute. And I am going to put the sticker, and the reason I'm using this label sticker is otherwise my Noel just gets lost in the background. So I needed something where it would let the Noel kind of, so you could read it better. I could have used a piece of vellum behind it, but when I noticed these little label stickers, that was perfect. Now it doesn't have to fit completely in the center of it, and I don't have it completely in the center. I kind of put it at an angle. The goal here is to make it visually interesting and to let you be able to read it. And so you get to watch me put my glue on the back of it, slow and steady. I do speed up these videos. I think this one's mostly at like double speed because I do not work this quick. And even at double speed, it takes me a half hour to get through this video. And so here I thought about using these little snowflakes, but they just weren't the right color for this card. And I didn't want to use the iridescent sequins, so I brought in just some plain old gold sequins. I have a lot of these. Now the Sizzix one I used in a previous card. I didn't care for that gold color with this card because we've got the gold Noel. I wanted something that was more closer to that shade. So I just pulled out a bunch of gold sequins and I'm just gluing them down, and I believe this is card number 10. And I think out of all the cards, it might be my favorite. Of course, then I'll look at some of the other cards and decide, no, that one's my favorite, but I like the die cut. I like the bright, cheerful Santa colors on this one. The bright cherry red hat and the cherry red mouth. Now the nose I Copic colored with a pink marker. I didn't want that to be that bright cherry red. I think that might have been a little bit too much. That would have been like too much eggnog Santa. So here are my 10 cards. Let me know which one's your favorite. I still have so much ephemera and so much pattern paper and different things. I swear I could probably make 30 more cards before I even started running out of things. But please let me know if you like these cards. And again, thank you for stopping by. And bye-bye for now, everyone.